Hey, I'm Matt from Acorn and Oak Family Photography. So I'm sharing a little series with you. I'm sharing my journey of founding a photography studio. And most of that journey is showing you all of the obstacles that I face and how I overcome these obstacles on my way to my goal. But right now I want to share with you the vision for my studio. And the reason why I want to share the vision for it is because I think it's quite a bit different than what you'd expect with a photography studio. So most studios, and there's nothing wrong with this by the way, it's the way most studios work. You go in, there's a photographer, you need a portrait of some sort or another, they take your picture, and then you leave and you come back later and pick up the photos when they're ready. And that's how most studios work. But my studio, what I envision is something completely different. So let me give you the basic points and I'll tell you what I mean by them. So on the one hand, I want my studio to be a place where my ideas can come to life out of my head and into the real world. I want my studio to be a laboratory. I want my studio to be something like an oasis. I want my studio to be something like a living room where people meet and gather and we figure things out together. I'll also use my studio as a place to write and to do some work, basically like an inspiring place to do my work, and also a place to let my students come and play, use photography equipment, try out ideas and something like that. So, okay, I need a place where I can get my ideas to life, because right now all I'm doing is I've got a head full of ideas and I got a laptop full of pictures and nobody can see the ideas. There's no way for my ideas to come to life. And when I close my laptop, my pictures disappear. Everything that I do is just invisible. And I need a place to bring that to life. But I mentioned a laboratory, and that's what my studio is going to be, is a laboratory. When you think of a laboratory, you think of a place where people have ideas and they try experiments and they go in, they want to learn, they want to test things out, and that's what I want to do with my studio. A studio, by the way, is a place to study. That's what a studio is. It's a study, and my studio will be something like a laboratory or a workshop. And if you're thinking to yourself, if images of like mad scientists and stuff are coming to your mind, that's a little bit what I want my studio to be. There will be appropriate limits to what happens in my studio, but I mean, you go in and you try things out, and I love to learn about human nature. I love to sit a person down in front of my camera and watch them sweat. I love when people are nervous in front of the camera. I love it when I'm nervous behind the camera because I don't know what I'm doing. And I love figuring things out. Two people sit there and we figure it out. When I had a photography job as a photographer for a big company that did school photos, I discovered upon reflecting on it that my studio was really like an oasis for the students who would come and get their picture taken by me. They would come into the gym where a bunch of us are set up with our cameras, and the chaos that high school is. And they come in and they're nervous about getting their picture done. But when they came to my camera, it was a place for me to figure out how human beings interact and how we can make a portrait that even an awkward teenager is going to like, or even more awkward teachers and principals. And it was a place for me to discover human nature. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited to study in my little lab and in my workshop where I figure things out. And so it's a place that I want to invite people in to come and learn about photography, to learn about other things that I'll share, the things I've learned along the way. I'm really excited to give talks and to have round tables and to interact with other people, and a place for my students to come in and play, to pull out the lights and the cameras and to figure out what in the world we're doing, and to just experiment and figure things out. I want I want to showcase other photographers. I want to work with other photographers in my studio, and I want a place where my students can show off their photos. I want to have a whole wall that's just pictures that other people took, that they're proud of, and that I'm proud of. So when I say that I want to have a studio, you need to think, laboratory. You need to think desert island. You need to think workshop. You need to think oasis. You need to think of like these places where we go, where the usual rules and routine stop, and we say we're not going to do what we're told we have to do. We're not following the rule of thirds today, if you know what that means. Today we're doing something completely different, and we don't know where it's going to go, but we'll find out where it takes us. And there's a sense in which I don't even know where this studio is going to go, but a year from now, and 5 years from now, and 10 years from now, I'll find out where it's taken me, and I'll find out where it's taken all the other photographers that have joined me. So there we go. Let's see where it goes.